my dear. How are you, Becky? How are you? How are you? Well, let me share the YouTube stream on Facebook too to bring our people in and them know that we're here. Hold on, guys. Let me share the YouTube stream. Welcome back. What's up, guys? Please let me share the stream. Yeah. Let's bring our people. Ishimiaki. What's up? Thank you, my bro. How are you? Welcome, everyone. Hold on, let me share the stream here. We're using the backup page, guys. Yeah. Yep. Well, guys, thank you, everyone, for joining us, for joining me this wonderful evening. I just want to start using this page to do it so they don't lock us out somewhere and we'll become stranded. Yeah, thank you. Easy. How are you? Thank you, Bozil Okere. How are you? Thank you, everyone. Let's see if we can get some of our people in here this wonderful evening. Wonder Mother Chibike. What's up, my brother? We are now back to our programs. I think it's about time you start coming on again. Yes. Chinelo, how are you? See as we find there. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining us this wonderful evening. Sorry, we are doing it a bit earlier and on another channel. Let me share with people, guys, and I enjoy my wine. Cheers, Ben. This is from you, and it's for you too. Mboneji chapter 1 Nihiala. I hail you, my brother. I will not insult you. Thanks for the drink. It's a Ghana Angupu go na bagodu. Yeah, you are not a small girl. Joy, how are you? Thank you. Kiss your wine. Of course. John Kesolo, good evening. Guys, please help me share this with people. I'm using the backup channel. Now, Victor Nadozie. Cheers, everyone. Cheers. We are getting there. Let's see if we can get it to 50. We are live on YouTube also. I live on YouTube. Guys, sorry, I need to build this account. In case of any eventuality, we don't want to be left hang and dry. That's why high and dry. Don't want to be left hanging high and dry. So that's why I wanted to do this one today. And I will keep on doing it. Maybe every evening program will be here. So we'll build both channels. I have. Thank you, Daniel. Jeffrey, let me share this thing to that side, I bet. Let me share them. For that way. Maybe for build this one. Please share with family and friends. Share with everyone. Share with them. Share with everyone. Share with everyone, guys. Share with everyone. Share with people. My brother. There's on our YouTube. But I think we'll be doing only exclusively on YouTube. So this Facebook, we know that we don't even need them. Thank you. Waiting. Who hacked your account? Yeah, well done, my brother. Alex Nkonye. And Nkonye the Kwaria. Some of these fools are already on this side. Let me block you now. I type again. Mug. Yes, 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 guys. It's the backup channel, guys. Now, brothers and sisters, let me tell you, whatever suffering you are passing through, or most people are passing through in Africa, you can directly link it to these Europeans, our colonial masters. I'm not one of those Africans that will always use the word former colonial masters. No, there is nothing like a former colonial master. Africans are still under colonization. We are still under the bondage of these people. Whether some people know it or not is a story for another day. But this is the truth. Let me tell you, that paper money you are seeing, today I heard the dollar started falling against the naira. Now, why did the dollar start falling against the naira? Did the size of the dollar note in your pocket become smaller? That is falling against the naira. Or while it was climbing up the Iroko tree, did it enlarge? That makes it to magically rise against your currency. The people doing the manipulation are the same people who funded the slave ships that came to take your ancestors. The people who funded the captains, you see those ones that were coming to Africa to take people, they were just poor whites and criminals. Poor people who are seeking an adventure and criminals. Then others are tough men, fighters, guns for hire, that were sent to our place, heavily funded by the European powers. I mean their monarchs and their cabinets. We call them the aristocrats, who were ruling alongside the monarchs in one capacity or another. They were the ones that were sending their people to come to our place to take slaves. Now, the same people are the ones issuing our currencies. As long as your country has a central bank, believe me, you are not free, and you will never be free. You can't be free from them. That's why debt means wealth to them. The whole world, as at 2015, all the countries in the world with external debt were as at then owing $232 trillion. And ask yourself, who are the people we owe the debt to? Who are the people issuing the currency you are using? So many people don't know. See, we are going to get somewhere, but don't assume that I am knocking every person that practices the J religion. No. I'm talking about the group of people who adopted the J religion and are using these small J people as guinea pigs. They will always set them up for failure. When the repercussion comes, you won't see them. They will disappear and move to other countries where they will be safe. Then the smaller J's will suffer the consequences. From the moment they started killing J people in Europe, did you hear that they killed a single J from the house of Rothschild? Or the rest of them? All these wars they've been causing, have you heard that a single member of their family died? Have you ever heard that anywhere? Now they are the ones making you and I poor. They will tell you that your country is owing so amount. They are owing so amount. To who? Even the loan they said they are giving to you. If actually they gave Nigeria, they printed dollars and shipped to Nigeria, to your country, don't you think that the value of dollar will fall? Now they just need to do it on the computer. Then they will tell you that they loaned you how much, but no physical money. Even the paper currency, I am not sure they have enough paper to print the ones they say they are giving to you. Wait, let me block this idiot. Hey, Mumu, I blocked you. You are on another channel, and I blocked you here too. So when they say they are giving you money, well, not if they gave, how much did they say that Nigeria borrowed the other time? 20 billion, right? Or 25 billion? If you put 25 billion paper currency into Nigeria, the dollar will fall immediately. And now, see the trick here. Since the dollar is the one killing your economy, are you even free to dump the US dollars? The answer is no. Check all the countries that the US is at war with. Check all of them. Check all of those countries. They are people who don't have the central banking system. The people who don't have the central banking system. Calculate Cuba, North Korea, Iran. Now you know why they are putting sanctions on them. Other countries who don't like what they are doing to all those ones, most of them can't even do anything. Why? Because the same people put your president in power. So many presidents who saw through this scam can't even do anything. Why? Because the people who put them in power would immediately remove them. They have many things to pin on them. And they can even use your vice. They are using blackmail also to control the cabinets around the president, your military generals. Oh, you think your military generals will be saving their money abroad? All these funds, they are saying they will be saving it abroad in a bank, in a foreign bank. And you think they don't know? They will tell you, you can open this bank, they just give you the number. And your name will show. Oh, really? And you think they don't know the people withdrawing from that account? Go to Cayman's Island, go to this, go to Barbados, go to Bahamas, go to this, go to St. Lucia. Really? Go to Cayenne, go to there, go to these places. Oh, who own those banks? Who own those banks? The same people. If you don't know where else to look no further than Blazer Campore. Thomas Sankara's best friend, or so he thought, who was used to assassinate him. And he was installed in power. Look no further than him. And you will understand what exactly is going on and how they control people. Now the same game they are playing to the whole world is the game they started playing to their people. America is how much in debt? Nearly $29 trillion in debt. And you ask yourself, who are they owing the money to? Who are they owing the money to? They are telling you, America is in Iraq. They are stealing their oil. Really? You think the oil they are stealing goes into the American government's purse? No. They will use your money to fund those things. You print paper money, you'll be in debt. Paying interest on a paper money. The Phoenicians, you are right. Thank you for using that name. Thank you for using that name. The Phoenicians. So many people wouldn't understand this. No, it's no longer in Venice. It's in Washington, D.C. It's in everywhere. It's in Berlin. It's in City of London, not London, City of London. It's in Washington, District of Columbia, not Washington. It's in New York. It's in Naples. It's in the Vatican. For those of you who are Catholics, do you know that no auditor in the world would agree to audit the Vatican Bank? Banco de Vatican. No auditor in the world, unless that person has signed his death sentence, his death warrant, would audit the Vatican Bank. When the Bretton Woods Agreement was signed after the Second World War, that the whole world will use, I think the First World War, sorry. When Bretton Woods was signed, when America was brought into the war, the pound was dropped. The agreement was that the dollar would be tied to gold. And that was when the gold standard was introduced. That was when the gold standard was introduced. And they used it to bring everyone in. And everyone started trading in the US dollars. But when they removed the US dollars from gold standard, were you told? Was your own country alerted when it happened? The answer is no. This AG can blocking you now. The answer is no. Now that they removed the dollar from the gold, Nixon did it. Thank you, my brother. The Nixon shock. Thank you. When Nixon removed the dollar from the gold standard, and he was meant to remove it anyway, some people still think that Nixon's, the only thing they know about Nixon's was Watergate. Watergate was nothing compared to the real crime of Richard Nixon. Temporarily, but he's still there. But he's still there till today. Thank you, my brother. I feel the vibe. Now you ask yourself, who are the people issuing this money? And how are they this powerful? And I will tell you, they ruled by blackmail and subversion. They created all the countries you see in Africa. And let me tell you, for Africa to free itself from this bondage, every person that is over ambitious in Africa must learn to drop their ambition, their personal ambitions. Is the reason Africa cannot save itself. Now, let me give you an example, like in Nigeria now. In Nigeria, if President Buhari drops the US currency right now, if he stops selling the Nigerian oil on dollar and starts, maybe he sign a deal with individual countries. India, if we are dealing with you, let us trade a rupee for the naira. The Chinese, let us trade with the RMB and naira, direct exchange. The Russians, let us trade rubles for naira. The Turks, let us trade the Turkish lira to naira without the US dollar at the central bank. Do you know what that will mean? $1 will drop immediately. Within the first 1 month, it will drop from 400 and to less than 200. Within the next 4 months, it will drop from less than 200 to less than $25. Why? Because how many things are you importing from the USA? Their money is worthless. The only thing backing it up is the US military. And their intervention was, if the president of Nigeria does it today, believe me, they will overthrow him immediately. If they don't use the military to do it, they will arm many regions in Nigeria and ask them to seek for independence. They will declare a no-fly zone in Nigeria. Then they will start bombing. You will hear something like humanitarian war. Is there anything like a humanitarian war? Prescott Bush ran and dealt with the mobs. No. The mobs are even the smaller criminals. He was the private banker for Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Germany. 39 Broadway, New York. That is the Union Bank headquarters. That was the Nazi banking headquarters in America. In case, my brother, you are talking about the small mafia. Talk about the Nazis. Talk about the Nazis. Talk about the Nazis. They will kill that president. If they don't kill him, they will send him to the International Criminal Court in The Hague. In The Hague. The same people are not just putting Africa in bondage. They are enslaving their own people. Please let us, without wasting any more of our time, let's go straight to the video I want to analyze this evening. Again, from Felix Rex of Black Pigeon Speaks. That's where we are going to now. Let me share the screen, guys. It says, we are all dead slaves. Here is why. And guys, I shared the other video we analyzed in the morning on the page. We are all dead slaves, and that is why. Okay? Thank you, David Mark. You are in tune. You are in tune. I can see you are very much in tune. You know the history. You know history, not just mainstream history. You know history. Guys, let's go.
Chances are that you live in a country whose money supply is controlled by a privately owned central bank. They have lofty names that attempt to give them a veneer of credibility and being part of the public trust. The Federal Reserve in the US, for example.
This Federal Reserve, I want to show you something on the dollar. Where is this my $50? Did I change it? Oh, I changed it. Guys, let me show you something. Wait. Yes. Watch it. Federal Reserve notes. What do you read here? Read here. Federal Reserve notes. Federal Reserve notes. Watch it. These are the people that issued it. Did they say the US government currency or money? This is Federal Reserve notes. Please, those of you that studied accounting in school, where do you keep put notes? Under debt, to show you that this thing was printed out of thin air, out of nothing, yet it was loaned to the US government with interest. With interest. Loaned with interest. Now, this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. And before, when you bring the old dollar, it will tell you that it's redeemable in gold. You can take your dollar to a shop and redeem it in gold and get gold back. Then, yes, thank you, Chinelo. Ego Chinelo Catherine. Are you getting it? Are you getting it? All these IPO pigs, all these bastards. I don't know what you fools are doing here. Oh, I know Ron Paul. Oh, are you watching Liberty Report too? My brother, are you watching the Liberty Report too? I watch the Liberty Report every time. Thank you, my brother. David, please inbox me. Inbox me your number. I need to speak with you because I need to co-host a program with you. I can see you know your onions. You know what you're doing. Wait, let me block all these people. All these pigs. These pigs, let me block them. Mumu. Chemefo don't run though. When I see there. My brother, please inbox me. I need your number. Inbox me your number. We could host a program. Watch it. This does not belong to the US government. Forget that they are putting the name of the faces of their former presidents there. Check your currency as long as you have a central bank written there. Let me show you the Turkish lira. Türkiye Cumhuriyeti what? Merkez Bankası. Check your naira. You will see Federal Republic of Nigeria. Guess what? It doesn't belong to your country. It doesn't belong to your country. Your country don't own it. If you say it's a lie, let Nigeria print 1 billion naira on their own accord. Huh? You will see immediately they will devalue naira. $1 will turn to maybe 5,000 naira. I'm telling you. Ask Robert Mugabe if you can find him. They will give it a name that makes it sound as if it's a public owned establishment. But guess what? It's not. It's privately owned. Each and every one of them. The Central Bank of Nigeria is connected to the Bank of England and the Federal Reserve, and you are trading with the US dollars. It's the central money. So when we are talking about the laws of the universe, you are talking about the people that own the US Federal Reserve. Those are the people you are talking about. Those are the number one terrorists you get in the world. The Vatican is there. The British monarchy is there. The German, the people that run the German Empire, they are there. They are there. The people, the Habsburgs, they are still ably represented there. Each and every one of these people, without any exemptions, they are all heavily represented there. You are asking me how? I don't know what you mean by how. Haven't you been paying attention? If you are just joining us, please, you start from the beginning. Oh, you are asking the one that said this guy has lost it. Man, forget the people who don't know what they are saying. So my people, let's start afresh again. Let's start afresh. I don't understand you. Stephen Anyanwu, this information is not for general consumption. You calm down. Yes. Spring, you are right. And read a creature from Jacob's Island. This, my brother, you got it. You are on point. You are on point. You are there on the money. In 1913, they gathered in Jacob's Island off the coast of Georgia. Read this book, Creature from Jacob's Island, by Edward G. Griffin. Edward G. Griffin. On a Christmas night, when the whole Congress, everyone went to break, they called for that meeting and they signed it. J.P. Morgan himself was there. Jean-Pierre Paul Morgan. Most of all those people that attended those things were just even front men for the Rothschilds. J.P. Morgan, while alive, was once regarded as the richest man in America. Guess what? When he died, they found out that he only owns just 17% of the Morgan Company, J.P. Morgan Company. Who owns the other one? The Rothschilds. Those are the people running the world as they please, running the world as they see fit. Okay? Again, paper money is slavery. It's enslavement.
Chances are that you live in a country whose money supply is controlled by a privately owned central bank.
Before, when you get the old US dollar, right there, you tell you it's redeemable in gold. Here, they used to write it here then. It's redeemable in gold. Now, no longer redeemable in gold. Remember, it's just to understand what this guy said. Chances are that you are living in a country. I will not stop it until it gets past here again, please. I'm just getting too emotional.
Chances are that you live in a country whose money supply is controlled by a privately owned central bank. They have lofty names that attempt to give them a veneer of credibility and being part of the public trust. The Federal Reserve in the US, for example. And other than being able to appoint a minority of members to the Board of Governors, in some instances, central banks are mostly independent from national governments. These private institutions create the money supply out of nothing, and the money they create is backed by nothing. And in this brief video, I'm going to explain why, how, and the reason this is so important to not only you, but to every single person you know. Just a quick announcement that I'm now selling a whole slew of new t-shirts, many with new designs and several with new logo designs. There are, of course, lots of colors that you can choose from and many different kinds of shirts. There's the classic logo in red and yellow and white and gray, and new logos that I'm using on the Felix Rex channel, along with a 2020 commemorative shirt written in Japanese katakana. Check them out. There is a link in the description. So thank you very much in advance, and remember to check to see if you're still subscribed, as YouTube has dropped thousands of people from this channel and will continue to do so as we go forward toward November. The Federal Reserve came into existence a little over 100 years ago and was formed by and in the interests of the private banks. And in that time, the dollar has devalued by 96%.
They are crying. The dollar has devalued by 96%. Guess by how much the dollar has devalued just between 2015 till date. January 2015, February 2015, March 2015, it was still just jumping from between 148 and 152 now. Let's say 150. 150 naira per dollar. Now, by how much? Today, how much is the US dollars? Today, how much is the US dollars today? 450. 450 naira. And that is how much? Huh? By how much? Please do the math. Do the math yourself and tell us the result. Huh? You are right, David Mark. You are right and dead on the money. Okay? I don't want you, please, my brother, I want you to just inbox me, okay? I need us to co-host a program because I'm seeing things already here from you. I'm seeing things already here from you. I love what I'm seeing from you. I love what I'm seeing from you, my brother. Please inbox me so we will discuss. Let's see the day we'll host a program. We co-host a program. By 96% and they are complaining. How much was the dollar in 1980? In Nigeria, how much is it today? How much was the dollar in 1980? Please, this idiot that is the first time you are making sense. Hey, you just said you don't like the truth you were hearing before. You like this one because it's not affecting you. And the pipeline dream you are pursuing. I'm a man of little patience. As you can see, I will leave you now because I'm enjoying my wine. Okay? Type it next. I'm going to block you. In case you haven't noticed, there is a reason some of all these people that were typing rubbish are not typing again because I blocked them. I am a man of little patience. If you come here, you want to learn, learn. If you are here to talk nonsense, my dear, you are going. You are going. I'm not going to entertain it, okay? Let this be your final warning. I'm not going to entertain this nonsense from you fools. I'm just blocking you, and I'm not going to get tired of it. Okay? I'm not going to get tired of it. I'll keep on blocking you. And now we are getting into this, but you can type your rubbish there, then I'll come back and block you up. By 96%, and we are complaining. And they are complaining. So how are we going? What do they expect us to do? Their currencies got devalued by 96%. That is ever since it was formed. Ever since it was formed. What of us? In 5 years, we've gone from 150 something to 400 and in fact at some time 490 something. 490 something. 490 something. Nearly at a time it was 500. Guys, true or false? 525 at one point. 425 at one point. Ask us questions and you people are still mourning on 96%. Okay.
And the national debt has grown 5,000 times larger.
Yes.
What's interesting is that finally, in March 2008, then Chairman Ben Bernanke finally admitted that just 16 years after the Fed was created, it caused the Great Depression. That was ended by the Second World War. So it was mostly like, oops, sorry, our bad. We won't do that again.
Did you get that?
He said that the Fed has learned its lesson.
Did you get that?
Now, it's very important to understand that the Fed is a privately owned entity, and its shareholders are private banks.
Hold on, guys.
6%, and the national debt has grown 5,000 times larger. What's interesting is that finally, in March 2008, then Chairman Ben Bernanke finally admitted that just 16 years after the Fed was created, it caused the Great Depression.
David Mark, I hope you are aware. You saw the hearing when it was held. Just 15 years after the creation of the Federal Reserve Bank, the U.S. economy crashed. And it never crashed from the day Andrew Jackson took back the bank and put the control of money in the hands of the U.S. Congress. Constitutionally, it's the U.S. Congress that should be issuing currency, not the private banks. Not the private banks. This Ben Bernanke, of course, by his name, you will know his religion. Now they've turned it into a race, as if it's a race. The J people. Ask yourself, why is it that there has never been a single non-J in charge of the Federal Reserve Bank? Maybe they haven't found a Goyle trusted enough to handle it. They can't take that risk. These are the people that put every U.S. president in power, except those they assassinated. Except those they assassinated. They killed JFK because they thought JFK, because of the influence of his father, would play ball with them. He damped everything and went ahead. Full steam. He wanted to break the CIA. He even said it openly. I will break the CIA into 1,000 pieces. The people who control this control the CIA. Those people control the Council on Foreign Relations. They control all the arms of the U.S. government that deals with foreign relations. Like Council on Foreign Relations you're hearing is the same as the Chatham House in the UK. They are the same as the Chatham House in the UK. Okay? These are the people you should be mindful of. These are the real owners of power. The real owners of power. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me, guys? When Ron Paul was in Congress, if you hear the way he is interviewing these guys, the type of questions he asked them, and that was why they blackballed him. That was why they blackballed him. When he ran for election in 2007, he could have beaten Obama with ease. Then they put their man, Mitt Romney, who couldn't hit Obama on point and just lost like that. The same Mitt Romney is the one attacking Donald Trump today from his patio. Now he's backing Joe Biden, a Council of Foreign Relations stooge. A stooge put in power by the people who own the Council on Foreign Relations. And we are going to get into that one later. Let's go.
That was ended by the Second World War. So it was mostly like, oops, sorry, our bad. We won't do that again. He said that the Fed has learned its lesson. Now, it's very important to understand that the Fed is a privately owned entity.
Did you hear it? The Fed is a privately owned entity. Again, your dollars is owned by a private entity. Forget the name Federal Reserve. It's not federal and they have no reserve. When Ben Bernanke was asked how much gold the U.S. government possesses, did you hear what he answered? that they've not owned a single gold since the 1930s. I think it was 1933. They've not owned gold since 1933. Then, when they put it on gold standard, what gold were they backing it up with? Oh, the ones they are stealing from other places. Even those are not even enough for the amount of currency they've printed. Okay?
And its shareholders are private banks. Who those shareholders are, however, is mostly unknown, as this information is made as opaque as possible.
No, it is not unknown. We know the people. It is not unknown. We know the people. We are talking about the powers that invaded Africa. We are talking about the people that own the military-industrial complex. We are talking about the people that installed Mao Zedong in China. We are talking about the people that assassinated, that killed the Romanovs and performed an occultic ritual with their blood, bayoneted all his daughters, killed anyone associated with the Romanovs. Those are the people. Not that they are unknown. No, they are not unknown. They are known, but they don't want you to say anything about them. Every information about them is hush-hush. They've hushed everyone up. Do this on Twitter, where you have foreign followers. Believe me, within 24 hours, they will take down your account with immediate effect.
However, most investigations by independent researchers all point to various banking dynasties as being the key prime.
Did you hear that? Banking dynasties. The bankers of the 16th century, the bankers of the Roman Empire, the people who, when you hear about the Caesars, don't you know that there were people the Caesars were borrowing money from? They called them the money lenders. The people who were loaning even the Caesars money. My brother talked about the Venice. You are hearing about the Venetians. Please, what's the name of this? The richest family from Venice. Oh, David Mark, please help me here. Oh, David Mark, please remind me. The Venetians, the most popular family in Venice those days, even till this day. I will look it up. I'm forgetting the names now. These are the same people. Their descendants still control the Habsburgs. Do you think the Habsburgs just disappeared? Kaiser William, do you think that his lineage disappeared from out of thin air? Not the Barbaro family. No, Shylock is Shakespeare's. Oh. Medici, thank you, Nonso Gioragis. The Medicis. Thank you, Nonso. The Medicis, you think they disappeared? They only changed names. They only changed their names and mingled with the crowd. You wouldn't know them. These people they have never fallen, and until the people will wake up, they will never fall. When this empire, before this empire crumbles, they will move their money and go to this one. Before this one crumbles, they will move this and go there. Are you getting me? They keep on moving. They keep on moving from one place to another. If they need to change religion, they will change it. If they need to change religion and become Muslims, they will become Muslims. If they need to become Christians, they will become Christians. They will become Christians. Okay? Khadija, the wife of Muhammad, the very first wife of Muhammad. Huh? Who do you think she is? Who do you think Khadija is? They told you she came from a wealthy Roman family. Oh, really? 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 The same people. They are the same people. When they tell you the richest men in the world, go to Forbes. All of those people you see on Forbes, believe me, the top 10 combined together, the top 10 combined together, a single Rothschild will bankroll them, pay them to wash his car. He will pay them to wash his car. They are the people. When you hear about the banking dynasties, these are the people we are talking about.
However, most investigations by independent researchers all point to various banking dynasties as being the key prime movers. But alas, ownership of who has the power to create money out of nothing and then lend it at interest to you is information you're not allowed to have.
Yes. It's an information you are not allowed to have. Not as if the information is not there, but you are not allowed to have it. Okay? You are not allowed to have it. You are not. In debt we trust. Yes, bringing the freedom of debt. Exactly. This is what they should write on every dollar note. Bringing the freedom of debt. What a nice oxymoron.
One of the first things the United States does when it invades countries in the name of freedom in this century was to enslave the population with debt via central banks owned by global banking cartels that are integrated into the global financial system. For example, in 2001, the US invaded Afghanistan, and within 2 years, the Afghanistan Bank was established by presidential decree. That president who gave the decree was Hamid Karzai.
Now you know, after the US invaded Afghanistan, you started seeing all those bombings. The suicide bombers of Afghanistan are not bombing them. We are not bombing Americans those days because they hate American freedom. No, they know exactly what those people came to do there. Mind you, the J people, the original J people have been there for a long time. You will never see people who understand these J people and their tricks more than people in the Middle East. Even talks. They felt their anger firsthand. Remember, you see these J people, you think they are weak people? These are the only people the Muslims feared at the height of the Muslim conquest. For the Muslims to go from the Middle East to France, they avoided their region. Do you know that the Muslim conquest got to the gate of Vienna? Check it, 1683. They went into mainland France, but they did everything to avoid these people's territory. So these guys know them. Ahmed Karzai, the former president of Afghanistan, with presidential decree signed out. That was why you saw those high rates of suicide bombing in Afghanistan in 2003. They thought he came to give them freedom, not knowing that he came to enslave them. And they've realized it and immediately started fighting them. That is why till this day, they are still fighting the Americans. Americans have basically surrendered in Afghanistan. The Taliban. Do you know why Trump wanted to end the Afghanistan war? Not because he wants to leave Afghanistan. No, he has seen that this war is not winnable because these people are ready to lay down their lives for their land. They are ready to lay down their lives for their land. Okay? Who is Hamid Karzai? Who was he before he became the Afghanistan president? Hmm? Who was he before he became the president of Afghanistan? Who did he work for? Who installed him? Who installed him? Tell me.
That's right. The man with ties to UNICAP.
Do you know what? Do you know this company? This company is owned by the Rockefellers. And remember, the Rockefellers are the oil men, the oil managers for the Rothschild family. Quote me anywhere. UNICAP. Now, let's come here. Owner of UNICAP is owned by Chevron Corporation. Watch. All these things under one corporation. Royal Dutch Shell, Exxon, Mobil. It was Exxon, then you have Mobil. Now it's Exxon Mobil, BP. All of them are under here. Have you seen how one corporation owns all these things? 76. That's the name. It's a chain of gas stations located within the United States. The 76 brand is currently owned by Phillips 66 Company, Union Oil Company of California, DBA UNICOR. The original owner and creator of 76 brand merged with Chevron Corporation in 2005. Now, let's do this one. Let me give you a bonus. Standard Oil. Watch Standard Oil. Owned by who? Watch. We are coming. Standard Oil, owned by who? John D. Rockefeller. And I can tell you, ExxonMobil, Shell, BP, all of them are all owned under Standard Oil. Watch it. This is share. Watch it. Standard Oil Company. The Rockefellers. How old is this? And is the business is still here? Huh? They say monopoly, break up. Who broke it up? What Texaco is still on it? Watch them. John D. Rockefeller. What? Texaco, Chevron, Gulf Oil, Esso, ExxonMobil. All under Standard Oil. And they are the people that owned this guy. They are the people that own this guy through Unicorn. So he's not even a top man. Oh, he's just a small boy. A small boy. He is just a small boy. Huh? A small boy. Moby, yes. Yeah. Well, let me keep on blocking these people. Are you getting it? Are you getting it, guys? Are you learning something? Please connect the dots. Connect the dots. Connect the dots. Everyone, start connecting the dots. Connect the dots. Okay? Connect the dots, guys. Know who your rulers are so you know where your problem is coming from. It's as simple as that.
and the man who was installed by the US a couple of months after the invasion. In 2003, just a few months after the invasion of Iraq, the US didn't even wait for the cover of a puppet government and created the Central Bank of Iraq to, in their words, bring Iraqi's legal framework for banking in line with international standard.
Bringing Iraqi banking into the framework of international standard. You know what that means? To add them to the list of countries under the central banking system. Mind you, his gold were stolen by US troops. They were taking photos with them. All those gold you saw, none of them is sitting in a Fort Knox. None of those gold is sitting, those gold bars, none of them is sitting in Fort Knox. His gold piano is now in the Queen's Palace. The Queen took a photo the other day with this gold piano. Okay? With his gold piano. Saddam's gold piano, to show that they went to literally rape Iraq. Don't forget that.
Nerds. Or in layman's terms, or if they had an honesty filter, the US as an occupying power foisted upon the people of Iraq a privately controlled central bank, which then began to issue debt. And this is just an aside, but I've done a video previously on why Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi was destroyed as he was attempting to implement a gold-backed currency that would have been outside the central banking system and would have challenged the petrodollar. Link to that video is in the description.
North Korea, this is North Korean flag. One of the, ask yourself, is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence that all the countries that the US is at war with, the countries they call rogue states, are all the countries that are not under the central banking system? Coincidence? Coincidence? Hardly so. I don't think so.
So depending on your sources, the countries outside the central banking system are very small indeed, but do make up an interesting and eclectic group. The two remaining members of the axis of evil, North Korea and Iran, as well as the country with the longest sustained economic sanctions the US has applied to anywhere in the world, Cuba, and the broken and devastated nation of Syria, where the US has backed rebel groups that seek to
Is it beginning to make sense now? Cuba, Iran, Syria, what do they all have in common? They don't have the central banking system. They don't have the central banking system. They are not using it. They are not under their control. They are not under their control. That's why you are seeing this war in Syria. That is why you are seeing this endless war in Syria. Because they are not under their control. They can't control them. Do you know why they are fighting war with Russia? Russia paid off all their debts. George Soros is a wanted man in Russia. He cannot set foot in any Russian territory. They will arrest him immediately. Not that he's anyone. He's just a puppet being used by all these people. They just toss him around to go and destabilize countries. Their financial markets, you come and destroy it immediately. And go, then they will come and pick the carcass. Let's continue.
Overthrow the regime even in 2020. And this is despite the horrific crimes against the Syrian people that these rebel groups have committed. But obviously, in the real world, none of this matters because money is in play. Large sums of money. And it's absolutely clear that many of the central banks of the world are controlled by private banking cartels. However, there is no institutional will, despite the obvious problems that exist with a private institution having power to create debt-backed currency out of nothing and then loaning it at interest. Even though it is a critical issue that affects every person within the borders that these central banks control, I can think of nowhere in the world where there is even a political movement, a squeak, if you will, to break, shut down, or even reform a national central bank. By design, politics in the West are focused on things like guns, abortion, LGBT rights, feminism, failing schools, hard drugs, soft drugs, the failing welfare state, and currently in the United States, riots, looting, and violence based on race relations or lack thereof, and the mass uncontrolled immigration from developing countries that's supposed to fix all of these issues. Thus, for many, it seems incredibly hard to understand why governments that are supposed to put the security and safety of its citizens as its top priority, both physically and financially, and why they so willfully have negated this key responsibility in this most critical area. But the reason is obviously clear. Those that have the power to create money care little for those who control the government at any given time. Central banks control the money supply, but it is the commercial banks that create most of the money via fractional reserve banking, meaning banks own.
David Mark, you hit it before they said fractional reserve banking. That is another name for fraud. That is euphemism for fraud. How can you loan someone the money you don't have? And legally, they can loan 90%. I think if they have, let's say if they have $10, they can loan you $100. From where? From where? Then Bill Clinton repealed Glass-Steagall, the Glass-Steagall Act. With it, these people took out all the community banks, all the small banks. Now, the other one is QE. They call it QE. That is quantity easing. That is quantity easing. Yes, quantity easing. And that quantity easing is another word for counterfeiting. It's another word for counterfeiting. Quantity easing. What does that even mean? They will just print money out of thin air. The European Union, under this before this coronavirus hit, the European Central Bank was completely broke and heavily in debt. Now, the 500 billion euros, they said they've shared to all these people. Where is it? Did they even print it? No. What did they back it up with? No, nothing. Because the Germans turned it down. Okay?
Only hold a fraction of the amount of its deposit liabilities on hand. Banks then create more money by loaning out money they do not have.
Yes.
And then they do so at interest and thereby create debt. Our currency is created in debt, and
are you hearing it?
Personal or public is created.
The currency is created in debt. You know what that means? You know what that means? Before they create any $100, you're already owing them. You are already owing them any money they create newly, whether printed or on the computers. You are owing them on it. Are you understanding it? So the US, wait, I'm coming.
Out of nothing, with the creation of interest on something created out of nothing, or however you'd like to say it. So why do governments throughout the Western world speak of the dire horrors that await a country that does not continually expand its population? Well, simple. With falling populations, banks have fewer people to issue debt to, and an even more difficult problem for the banks is that most people throughout the Western world are maxed out on their ability to carry debt. Canadians hold more personal debt than the citizens of any other G7 country, and its cities have some of the most overvalued real estate on the planet. The Canadian government's solution? More immigration.
Yes.
The same is for Australians, who, not part of the G7, are in fact the most indebted people in the world. Canadians in Canada, Australians in Australia, Americans in the United States are milked populations. You'd have more luck drawing water from a stone. Ever wonder why Canada and Australia and America are so eager to allow hundreds of thousands of new debt slaves to enter their countries every year, despite high unemployment, deteriorating services, and the destruction of social cohesion? Have you ever wondered why? None of these issues matter, as Canada and Australia and America, like the rest of the West, keep pumping new cogs into the debt machine. These new Canadians, these new Australians, these new Americans are the newest victims in the global debt trap.
There's an ad playing. Please let the ad go.
The gutting of the middle class everywhere and the creation of McJobs and a gig workforce forces people into endless years of seeking credentialism in the hope of getting a better job, and thus more student loans and more debt, and now the student loan crisis. More people are struggling means more people on government assistance, means more people will vote to expand the welfare benefits, thus more national debt. Without an expanding population, banks lose as they have less ability to issue debt that is created out of nothing via fractional reserve banking.
Yes.
The more impoverished, the more indebted the population becomes, the more the political compass moves toward expanding the welfare state. From this point on, it will become very difficult, if not impossible, for the bankers and their puppet politicians to be dislodged. Look to the coming months and years of economic fallout that has been created by the chaos in 2020 and the reaction to the COVID-19. It's important to understand that these same cartels control most of the institutions, media, for example. And this is also why the election of Donald Trump was so unexpected. However, with the controlled and continued demographic and thus political shift in the US, as well as the rest of the Western world, democratic nations with populations that are becoming ever more impoverished through this system will move to ever less free and more overtly controlled societies. And this will inevitably end the ability to effect change peacefully. Yes. And should there be any violence of any measure created out of the resentment in the pressure cooker that has been created by the elites in Western nations over the many social issues that people clash over, well, then this would provide ever more license for an overt totalitarian system and measures to be put in place and a shift to an open police state. And the seeds of the destruction of your society as it crumbles down around you is all traced back to a small syndicate and is empowered via their greed. And
are you hearing it? Is all being done by a small syndicate. Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization. It's a subversion tool for the elite. Re-election of Donald Trump with the Republicans taking back the House and the Republicans having a speaker that is not Paul Ryan. Donald Trump would have ended all this nonsense if not because of Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan is a company man. Imagine, Matt Gaetz. Imagine if Matt Gaetz is in charge of House Appropriation Committee, or you put Matt Gaetz in charge of the armed services this thing in the House. Huh? You have a speaker in the US House that they can't control. Imagine where Rand Paul has the Senate Committee on Appropriation. Imagine where Mitch McConnell is not the Senate leader. Imagine where Lindsey Graham is not in charge of House Judiciary Committee. Do you know what that means? Again, Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization. David Mark, I am going to go further than you did on that Black Lives Matter issue. It's a Marxist-Maoist organization. That's why the banks, the same usual suspects, are the ones funding them. Check where their money is coming from. Check where their money is coming from, and that's all you need to know.
And lust for power. Banking reform and the elimination of debt-backed currency is probably one of the most important issues in the world today.
Now, this Black Lives Matter, all of them are all on student debt loans, or on one debt or the other. Have they marched against the credit card companies? The moment they march against the credit card companies, they will shut down the whole thing. There is a reason they put those 3 lesbians at the helm of the affairs of Black Lives Matter. Now there is a social issue. No, your problem is financial, it's economical. Why don't you talk about the economical problem? Huh? You are all indebted to the banks. Now, why don't they march against the banks? That's my question. Why don't they march against the banks? When are they starting to march? When are they going to start to march against the banks? And my people, when? When is it going to happen? When is that one going to happen? When is the march against the banks coming? When is it happening, guys? To show you that the Black Lives Matter you are seeing is just a stupid organization. A bunch of confused people who don't even know who their enemies are. People who don't know who their enemies are. Okay? That's who they are. That one will never happen. Thank you. This is where all the problems of the world, especially of Africa, stems from. The banking system, the central banking system. That is what our problems is. The central banking system, believe me, every river of hot water killing us can easily be traced back to there. Our problems are all from there. Take it or leave it.
That you've not heard anyone talk about. And it's never spoken about because those that rule you also fool you with their bought and paid controlled media and their puppet political class. This same cartel keep the population distracted and at each other's throats.
Of course.
This controlled deployment of divide and conquer has never been more obvious.
Divide and conquer.
We are witnessing a very well organized, a very well financed and expertly deployed use of mass rioting and looting at the very same time. People are being pumped full of fear via lockdowns and 24-hour news cycles, telling them constantly of the current outbreak of COVID-19 and its lethality. 2020 will be remembered as the year that the fear porn being pumped into society went totally off the rails. Now, all of that being said, I will be making, if this video proves successful, a video delineating the value of government-backed currency rather than a debt-backed currency. And for a very meticulous look at debt-backed currencies, central banks, and the history of banking and its subversion of the money supply in Europe and the United States, please see the excellent video by Bill Still called The Money Masters. Link is in the description. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please consider supporting this channel via Patreon, Subscribe Store, or you can go directly to my website, blackpigeonspeaks.com.
Guys, please go subscribe to his YouTube channel. See the channel here, Felix Rex. And you can make donations to his channels. Please help him. This is a full-time researcher and blogger, and he travels all over the world to get you this news. Okay? You need to encourage him. Give your money to him, not a criminal like Nnamdi Kanu, who is just hell-bent on leading his people astray and to slaughter. This is how you educate people. I wish Okoye was here. I wish Okoye was here to learn this one, because I can see he is being indoctrinated into what we call mainstream intelligence. You see people like David Mark, those are the people you're supposed to follow. Guys, please go check out this brother. David Mark, where's your, this brother, go and check him out. David without the I, then Mark, M-A-C-K. Add him up. My brother, please inbox me. I think we are going to host a program on the main channel. Okay? Yes, it's an ordinary paper, my brother, and we are killing ourselves over it. The only thing backing it up is the US military. Other than that, forget it. It's just a worthless piece of colored paper. It's just a worthless piece of colored paper. David, inbox me. We are, guys, please, if you are just seeing this thing, this is the backup channel. This is the backup channel. Okay? This is the backup channel. We are going to be broadcasting on the main channel, maybe in the morning, then in the evening, we come here. Please like and follow the page, or you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, Ijele Speaks, to stay in touch. We need to create this one because of the mission ahead. And guys, don't think we have left the criminal Nnamdi Kanu off the hook. No, I am working underground. As you can see, Uchemefo is now running. Ha! Uchemefo, I told you. He said he doesn't know that the governors were actually bringing money. Oh, you thought it was just the Atiku money. My dear, they don't kill you. Whoever knows Uchemefo should tell him that he's owing me for the information. At least I'm the one that told him the scam going on in IPOB. I mean, the scam he doesn't know about. Of course, he knows the whole thing is a scam. But this one, they shortchanged him. That's what evil people do. They will always fuck over everyone, including their own people. Okay? Those IPO pigs. My sister Chinenye Edison, you don't know these IPO pigs. If I'm not blocking them, you wouldn't feel comfortable being here. You wouldn't feel comfortable being here. These are a bunch of jobless people. All those people abroad that are doing nothing. Kalunta, Nnamdi Kanu's brother, he's just a wash guy. He's just a Yahoo guy. So all these Yahoo guys, they have time. They have time. And that's why I keep blocking them. They have many accounts to create. They have many accounts. They have time to create many accounts. They have many accounts to use. Okay? So forget. We need to keep on exposing them. See them. Jobless people. If you had a job, you wouldn't be here. My people, I thank you so much for joining me. Right now, I'm going to go out, have a haircut, then have a drink with the guys. I don't know where I'm going to hit tonight. Maybe it's a PTT. Maybe I'm going to hit PTT tonight. Okay, guys. Wait, let me see who is here. If I came as leave these people, we are prepared for them now. Let me kiss the drink. Oh, expensive wine. No be on us, no be cheap wine. No. Oh, my people, I thank you so much for being with us this wonderful evening. Like and follow the page. Subscribe. Ngozi Amaka Nne, I saw your message. I saw your text, but I've been busy since morning. I'm so sorry. Even right now, I'm going out too. No, not Scottish wine. No, it's Turkish wine. Consensus. This one is not IPOB standard. It is not IPOB standard. Now correct wine. IPOB people na Jumatesi then they take. Now Jumatesi, this one will start business. They'll start Jumatesi business. Okay? Guys on YouTube, I thank you for joining us. Please like and share the video, share the stream, help me share with friends and family, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that. I hope to see you next time. Thanks. Let me remove the